Sing of a simple road, and a boy who chose to walk it, long before anyone expected him to. Let this be the story of Nicholas of Mulberry, who worked the grill in a small restaurant, who stood in the heat of the smoke, and who carried more than most people ever saw. The tale doesn't start with an applause. It begins in the school hallways. When mornings came early and lockers slammed like distant drums, I was still young, but something in me felt older, like I could already see the future, waiting on the other side of graduation. No riches, no glory, just responsibility. A feeling that a man should work, earn his own things, and not wait for life to hand him anything. That feeling became my call to action. But every hero has someone who stands in their way, not as an enemy, but as a force that pushes them, tests them, shapes them. For me, that was my dad. He didn't want me to work. He worried the hours would crush me, that school would slip through my fingers, and I'd lose the pieces of youth before I ever even had them. His concern wasn't anger, it was protection. But when you're young and determined, even love can feel like a wall. So he became my dragon, not a monster, but a challenge. His doubt stood tall in front of me, asking if I was really ready to take the path I wanted to take. Still, I stepped onto it. I took the job at the restaurant. I tied the apron around my waist. I stood at the grill where the heat rushed up like a blast from an open furnace. The metal cracked and popped, grease spit in tiny sparks. The air smelled like smoke and salt in every meal I cooked. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't heroic in the way stories described it, but there was something about it. Work that demanded patience, self-control, and steady mind. Temperance, honor, perseverance, the old Greek virtues teachers talked about. They didn't feel like something from a textbook anymore. They felt real, like tools I picked up for every shift. The grill have taught me temperance. You can't rush heat. You can't panic when the orders stack or when customers yell because the food is taking too long. You breathe. You handle one thing at a time. You stay calm in the fire. Honor came in smaller ways, showing up on time, doing the right work, finishing a shift even when my legs were shaking and my eyes felt heavy. There's honor doing every job well, even when no one is watching. Perseverance was the hardest virtue, and one day I learned it the quickest. School all day, volleyball practice after, then straight to work. By the time I got off, the stars are usually out, and the world gone quiet. My Mitsubishi Mirage, the car I bought myself with the money I earned, was waiting for me in the back lot. Most nights I would sit in it for a minute before the drive home, letting the tiredness settle in my bones. Before I pushed the key into the ignition, I used to think about all the old poets that had nothing to do with me. But sometimes I'd remember Homer's heroes trying to get home, tired and stubborn like I was. Or Sappho writing the small moments and still ending up shaping a life. And even Aude Lorde standing strong in her own fire. Remind me that working through pressure can turn a person into a braver person than they expected to be. Balancing it all wasn't easy. Being a varsity athlete at Mulberry Panthers meant long practices, games that went late, bus rides home with the adrenaline faded, and exhaustion all hit at once. My arms would ache from spiking the ball, my legs jumping again and again, but the restaurant didn't care, the grill didn't care. They needed me. And I showed up. Some days felt almost impossible. School's assignments piled up, the restaurant rushed, volleyball demanded more. My dad watched me with worry in his eyes, still thinking it was too much. He didn't know that his doubt pushed me harder. I wanted to prove that I could stand in the fire and still come out strong. And somehow, I did. I kept my place in the top 5 of my class. I played varsity volleyball. I worked 40 hours every week, and I kept saving money until the Mirage came on. Not given, not gifted, earned. That was my triumph, not a trophy, not a medal. Just the quiet pride of knowing I carried responsibilities that people my age never had to think about, knowing I didn't fall behind, knowing that when life asked more of me, I found more to give. My dad saw it, maybe not at first, but eventually he understood. He saw I wasn't wasting my youth. I was shaping it. I wasn't losing myself, I was becoming myself. The boy he has raised was turning into a man, right in front of him. Like any good dragon in an old story, his resistance wasn't there to stop me forever, but to make sure I was strong enough to continue. Now when I look back, I see the journey, the way ancient poets may have told it. Not with magic or gods, but with real work, real sweat, real choices. Heroes aren't always warriors. Sometimes they were people who didn't quit. when everything around them told them they should. And maybe that's the real lesson of it. The greatness doesn't always look loud or shining. Sometimes it's just a kid in a restaurant apron standing over the grill after a long day of work, choosing to keep going and stopping would be easier. If there's any honor in this world, it's found in those quiet choices. I carry them with me now, like a map whenever I'm heading next. That was my odyssey, my road of heat and homework and volleyball nets and grill flames, of long nights, early mornings, a journey built not on glory, but on effort, not on battles, but on becoming. And if I ever doubt myself again, all I have to do is remember the smell of the grill, the sound of the sneakers on the volleyball court, and the weight of the school books in my backpack. And the feeling of turning the key in the car I bought, with the work of my own two hands. That is the story of Nicholas. Not a god, not a legend, but a young man who chose the harder road and walked it anyway. Thank you.